work. Ja Morant now the clear front runner for Rookie of the Year. I sat down with him in Chicago to discuss his beef with Iggy, why he isn't backing down from anyone as a rookie, and how he's going to work harder to become an all-star in the future. Take a look. As we sit here, the Grizzlies are in the 8th playoff spot. You're actually 4 games ahead of the team behind you. You've got tiebreaker advantages. You guys aren't just a cute little story anymore. Do you feel like you guys are a playoff team?
I definitely do. I feel like we have all the pieces we need. As long as we just keep the mindset that we have right now, never get satisfied, just keep going out and compete.
Morant down the lane, plays it up, and in! Holy cow! With 7/10 of a second, Ja Morant!
You have been playing exceptional basketball, but you play even better when the game gets tight. In the clutch, these are official numbers, you're actually 4th in the entire NBA. What goes through your mind when it gets to those tight late game situations?
I just understand that it's winning time. Throughout the game, I'm normally facilitating, getting my teammates involved, just reading defense, and it just started to open up for me a lot in the 4th quarter, and that's when I'm able to score the basketball to win basketball games.
Now, right before the trade deadline, there got a little back and forth, right, over Andre Iguodala. Some of your teammates saying, hey, if he doesn't want to play with us, we don't need him anyway. Wait till we see him on the court. You got a little involved with that. Steph Curry got involved with that. He sent out a picture with Andre with the trophy. You sent back a picture of Kevin Durant saying, oh, look who's Finals MVP, not Steph. What made you do that?
I just feel like we're not going to take no kind of disrespect. Still have respect for both of those guys as a person and a player, vets in this league. But I just didn't respect how he handled it on national television. I felt like it could have been a better way, another way. But
you're talking about Andre?
Yeah, but I mean it's in the past. We just got to focus on what we have on our team now, and just keep pushing.
Osman trying to knock it away. Sexton did knock it away, and Ja going for the big-time hammer.
What did he just try to do?
You're not afraid of anyone. You went at James Harden, an MVP. You thought he was disrespecting you a little with the way he was guarding you, and you were like, tell that mother about me. What makes you be able to stand up and trash talk to anyone?
I just don't care, honestly. I just feel like everybody put their shoes and stuff on the same way I do. So it's no reason to be afraid of anybody. I came in this league to try to prove that I can compete with the best, and that's just my mentality.
Lillard's 3 is good! Dame time is here!
When Damian Lillard had to drop out of the All-Star game, they had to pick a replacement from the Western Conference. Devin Booker got the spot, but a lot of people thought, hey, it should have been you. What did you think? I
mean, I felt like I definitely deserve it with my play. Where's my team at right now, but I only can control what I can.
You tweeted, I will prepare, one day my time will come.
Yeah.
Do you know that? Do you feel like that's just the truth?
I mean, it's just an honor to be able in that conversation as a rookie. So I know I'm capable of being an all-star. Just gotta work even harder now.
Thanks to Ja Morant for sitting down with me. Tomorrow on The Jump, we're going to have my full conversation with Zion Williamson as we talk about his introduction to the NBA. But I want to get back to Memphis, current 8th seed in the West. So, Perk, if the Grizzlies get into the playoffs, and you heard me say there, they have a 4-game lead on the Blazers plus the tiebreaker. There's only 30-something games left. Right. So this is not just a cute story anymore.
Right.
How dangerous could they be against the number 1 or 2 seed?
Well, I tell you what, they're going to give them a run for their money. It's not going to be a sweep. These guys are competitive. They have their killer mentality. And, I've been a huge fan of Ja Morant since we was at draft night in Brooklyn. And this guy is a winner. He's a born leader. And right now, they have a great mixture because I like Clark, I like Jaren Jackson, I like Big Jonas, I'm sorry. And Dillon Brooks and Ja Morant are starting to become one of my favorite backcourts in the NBA, and they're well coached. Coach Taylor Jenkins has done a great job with these guys. So it wouldn't be a sweep. It's not going to be a cakewalk, I tell you that.
If you look at those 5 guys right there, 4 of them are second year or younger.
Yep.
And so they're just really excited. They're just in this position for the first time. I talked with Jaren Jackson at All-Star Weekend, and That's how he described the way their team feels, a lot of excitement. Now, typically, young players in the playoffs,
Yes.
it's overwhelming for them. So they are in a total free roll right now. There's no reason for them to worry about their draft pick. It's gone.
Yep. Because it's top 6 protected.
Top 6 protect. That's going to Boston. Go get in those playoffs and get the experience. And if they get pounded on the head the first time through, no big deal. There's nothing but this is a honeymoon. This is a learning period. And, you know, we'll see. Damian Lillard is going to be maybe out for some time with that groin injury. That lead could even grow a little bit. We'll see if they've got the maturity to hang on to it, though, because those teams behind them are still going to think that they'll falter.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the Pelicans think they're still in it. Blazers obviously still think they're still in it.
Well, listen, I follow Jaren Jackson and John Moran on Twitter, and it was Monday. Jaren Jackson said, back locked in. And John Moran tweeted back, I'm right there with you, locked in. And I'm like, hold on, these are young guys. I'm telling you, these guys got it on their mind. They are some killers. I'm not saying they about to go out and upset the Lakers if they play on first round or whatever, but they're going to put up a fight. And it's scary because they have nothing to lose, Brian, like you said. But I'm telling you, listen.
I remember a young Thunder team. Young Thunder team having the same feel. And it was like nobody wanted to see them in the playoffs. They weren't ready to win yet. But that was the kind of that reminded me of.
Until they acquired Kendrick Perkins.
You know what? You're making a joke, but that's what they needed.
That is absolutely. And look, the Grizzlies, it's a different group of players, obviously, different styles, not grit and grind anymore. I believe there's some Memphis DNA somewhere there, and we have seen the Grizzlies give teams that are way seated above them a very hard time in the postseason and almost pull off some pretty serious upsets. So honestly, I would take a good first round. I think if the Grizzlies can not only get in, stay in, but play well against the number 1 or number 2 seed, that is going to help catapult them for the next season, whether they win a game or two or not. I don't know. Good learning experience for these players. Really fun to talk to John Morant. Keep your eye on him in the back third. All right, coming up, LeBron weighing in on Major League Baseball and the Astros cheating scandal. We will discuss with Houston resident Kendrick Perkins after this break. First, though, here's what the Jump recommends for today. Our NBA insiders on the app have put together their NBA predictions for MVP, finals matchups, and best rookie. Give it a quick read during the break, and then we'll be right back afterward. Here with Brian Windhorst, Kendrick Perkins. There's been just a little bit of controversy somewhere else in the sports world. The NBA's most popular figure, LeBron James, deciding to weigh in on it. In case you live under the rock in your backyard and haven't heard somehow, an MLB investigation confirmed the Astros did in fact cheat by using camera-based sign-stealing system technology during the regular season and playoffs of their World Series winning 2017 season and part of the 2018 season. Trash cans were involved. It was a thing. While the Astros fired their GM and manager, no players have been punished, and LeBron tweeted yesterday, quote, "Listen, I know I don't play baseball, but I am in sports, and I know if someone cheated me out of winning the title and I found out about it, I would be blank irate. I mean, like uncontrollable about what I could do. Listen here, baseball commissioner. Listen to your players speaking today about how disgusted, mad, hurt, broken, etc. about this. Literally, the ball is in your court, or should I say field, and you need to fix this for the sake of sports." Just my thoughts coming from a sports junkie, regardless of what my own sport I play. Perk, you are a Houston, Texas resident. Give us your take.
I'm with Braun on this one. I mean, listen, I live in Houston. I'm from Texas, Beaumont, Texas, but I live in Houston. And the energy when the Astros were winning and they won the World Series was crazy. They brought life back to the city of Houston. Like, I'm talking about life since Clutch City, the Olajuwon days. And to find out that they were cheating was very disturbing because the whole city was riding for them. Like, it was just, you could feel the energy, right? Here's my thing. I'm a 2008 NBA champion. I know how hard it is to be a champion. So you have to work. I mean, it was plenty of Game 7s that we had to go through, nights of sleep where you can't, plenty of nights where you didn't sleep. And when you announce me up here and say 2008 champion, I feel good about that. I'm like,
I heard that.
You're right, Rachel, I am a 2008 champion. I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that. And when you cheat, that's bad. Knowing that you going into a Game 7 of a World Series and sleeping well at night because you got the cheat code and you know you're going to win that game is bad.
You know, the funny thing is, LeBron almost always knows the other team's plays. He knows where they're going to be and everything. He knows the call.
He does, and you pointed this out, that stealing plays is completely within the rules of basketball.
Yeah.
It's just not in the rules of baseball.
I don't think that's what it's about. I think as somebody who feels like he's had championships that he hasn't been able to win because of fate or chance, because of having MVPs that he felt that he should have won but didn't because of other circumstances, I think LeBron, as a competitor, feels the loss of a championship.
Yeah.
And he knows exactly what that feels like. And he feels the other side of it. He's like, I know what it's like to have a season end thinking that I should have won, but for this. And so that's what I think he's referring to more than the actual dynamics between the games.
I don't know. I mean, he specifically calls out Rob Manfred, and I think that's how a lot of fans feel. Look, I do my work in the sport of basketball now. I have covered the NFL. I have covered Major League Baseball. I like baseball. Baseball games are fun to go to. I like it when we move the jump for opening day on this network because baseball is awesome. It's a great sport. And when you have people inside the sport who don't seem to be treating it with the same respect that some of us who are fans are, that drives me crazy. And I understand why LeBron was moved to tweet this and tweet at the commissioner and say the ball is in your court field, whatever it is. Because that's how I feel. It's funny, you and I talk on the show about like two of our biggest text message chains are, why did they make that Kyrie Irving trade when they did and for what? And me asking you over and over again, because I know you are a longtime baseball fan, why not just vacate this title? And I keep reading people saying, oh, it could open up a can of worms with the Players Association, they could sue. Or, oh, it will be a slippery slope. What other cheating has happened in the past? And do you start vacating those titles? And how do you make the distinction? Guess what? When Donald Sterling did the wrong thing, and finally, after a lot of wrong things, the NBA stepped in, and Adam Silver said, you know what? We are banning him for life, as he put it. There were a lot of questions. Was Donald Sterling going to stew? He did, by the way. Was other owners going to sit there and say, hey, where's the slippery slope? If you take him away, then what happens with us and all of that? Those questions are there, and the NBA still acted decisively and did the right thing. And I want to see baseball do the same thing.
No, I agree, because guess what? Players get punished when they fail a drug test. They call that cheating, right? Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod, he got punished. Barry Bonds got punished. So why the Houston Astros don't get punished? Same thing.
That's going to be their punishment. You know, some of the steroids guys' punishment is they don't get in the Hall of Fame, Barry Bonds. The punishment is what you were going to say, is that they won't be, that title will not be recognized the same.
But you know what? Do you know how I know it's a bigger deal to have the title vacated than just, quote, living with the shame, as Rob Manfred put it? Because they're not doing this one. They're saying this is a step too far. Guess what? It's not a step too far. It is a bigger deal, and we need. And as a baseball fan, I love baseball. I would like to see that title not replaced, not go back and pretend that another team won it. They didn't. But just say, you know what? They did not win it, the Houston Astros, because guess what? As a fan, I don't think they did. Boom. Let's talk about the Nets. Thank you, LeBron, for providing a forum for those of us who don't cover baseball to get that off our chest. Nets coach Kenny Atkinson said that Kyrie Irving's scheduled to see a shoulder specialist this week as he deals with that shoulder issue that caused him to miss 26 games earlier this season. That is a re-aggravation because, remember, he came back in between. Kyrie unavailable for the Nets game against the Sixers tomorrow. Is there a point, there's been so many injuries here, that the Nets just shut him down?
Well, he is searching for a way to get out of this without surgery. He first tried rehab, then he tried a cortisone shot. He's tried a number of different specialists. This is actually a different specialist than he saw last time in a different state. He doesn't, I don't blame him, Perk, because he's had surgeries in the past where he's had complications. He doesn't want to get surgery. He's trying to avoid it. But doctors have told him that surgery is a real chance here. And so, to me, if he has to have surgery, obviously his season is going to be over. And the Nets are a playoff team. This is a problem thing. But ultimately, you need Kyrie Irving healthy when Kevin Durant is healthy. That's the point of all of it. And if it means that you have to shut down for this season, as difficult as that is, especially with the Nets thinking about their playoffs, that is a decision that, frankly, makes itself.
What do you think? Would you shut him down the rest of the season?
I'm shutting down the rest of the season on talking about Kyrie Irving. I tweeted this, and I'm not saying anything else about Kyrie Irving. into next season. So go ahead, Rachel. I'm sorry. I'm shutting down on Kyrie Irving. I'm not saying nothing. No comments from me.
You thought he
about
forgot the
Kyrie
topic,
Irving.
so you gave it to him again. He was like, no, I didn't forget it.
I just wanted Perk to tell the people that he's vacating the Kyrie Irving topics from now on.
Yep, I don't know. Hey.
Look, to your point, Brian, I think, Perk, you go and you do what you feel comfortable with. Perk, Brian, to your point, surgery hasn't gone well. That's not putting it, that's putting it mildly. He got a staph infection from one surgery that he feels put his life in danger, right? Yeah. He's had stuff become infected. There's just been multiple problems.
I totally understand where he's coming from. Yeah. I do understand why he feels this way. And I think the most important thing for him, and only he can decide what it is when next season opens,
I want to say something.
Oh, there we go.
No, go ahead.
Next season opens, he and Durant are playing together side by side healthy. That's the ultimate mission here.
You got anything you want to add, Perk?
No. Ooh, I want to say something so bad.
We'll work on it during the next break. All right, it's time for some straight talk sound bites. Here is Chris BOSH on not being named a finalist for the Hall of Fame. Take a listen to this.
I just have to be honest with you guys. I'm very disappointed, and that kind of got me thinking to motivate us, right? To motivate you, to motivate myself. Sometimes you got to deal with disappointment. It is what it is. And, you have to move on. You don't sit around feeling sorry for yourself. You don't sit around blaming other people for whatever. You might have a 90-something% chance and the 1% happens. And, you can't really do anything about that, but be disappointed.
Chris BOSH, by the way, used the word disappointed 3 times in that clip, but also had a very positive attitude about it. As you can see, this year's list of the NAISMITH Hall of Fame finalists, highlighted by Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan. Brian, were you surprised that BOSH was not on this list?
I was surprised he didn't make the finalists. I'm not surprised he didn't make the first ballot because those 3 guys are kind of in a different class. It's hard for me to talk about this because personally, I have incredible respect for Chris BOSH. I was there in Miami every single day to watch what he did for that team. I recognize him as a 10 or 11-time All-Star, a 2-time champion, a gold medalist. I think he's absolutely an ironclad Hall of Famer. I think he's been a Hall of Famer lock for a long period of time. The process that they go through on this is opaque. We don't really understand how this all works.
They don't even tell us who the voters are.
They don't tell us who the voters are. But what I will say is that for whatever reason, BOSH hasn't gotten the respect of his peers as I feel he should. People, sometimes thought he was soft. People thought he didn't, take the game as seriously as other people. And I'm just watching the man work every single day in that situation. I've covered him with Team USA as well. I think the man is a Hall of Famer, and he will be a Hall of Famer. It's just not going to happen this year.
Yeah, I feel him, but CB, I love Chris BOSH a lot. We had our battles in Texas, still to this day holding record for state championship capacity. We sold it out. He got the best of. Well, he won. I wouldn't say he got the best of them, but if I'm CB, I'm disappointed. But hey, a lot of people are disappointed they didn't make it. C-Webb, for example. But I know one Hall of Fame that CB's going to be in, and that's the Texas Basketball Hall of Fame. So be proud of that, my
He's going to
brother.
be in them all.
Look, I think he's a surefire Hall of Famer as well. I do think it had to do with this class, though. I think especially after the tragic death of Kobe Bryant, the idea that those 3 guys, Kobe posthumously, the other 2 standing there, who were so part of defining one era of basketball, Chris obviously younger than them, had to retire early because of his lung problems. He just isn't in that group, and I don't even mean his skill level. I just mean that he physically isn't in that group. It's a different era. It's a different group of guys. They had a different kind of impact on the game. And I assume, and again, we don't know because we don't know who votes or how, that people who were doing the voting were just like, yeah, he's not in that group. So why advance him to the finals or have him stand out there on the court at the Final Four, however they do it?
Some of this is just the luck of the draw.
What year you are, and they were saying, yeah, he's not going to make it. So therefore, if you made that decision now, they're not advancing him to being a finalist. I don't think him not being a finalist is indicative of him not making it down the road. I think it is more just about this group of people. Coming up, the top 10 ankle breakers so far this season. There's no NBA game, so our guys got busy on some of these highlights. We know Brian Windhorst won't shame anyone for playing defense, but we're going to make him watch these anyway. This is The Jump.
I'm not